Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Today on The Young and the Restless, Nick and Phyllis struggle to help Summer. Diane tells Summer that Kyle is moving out and Victor questions Kyle. Credit. CBS screenshot. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Nick walks into Crimson Lights and greets Summer and Phyllis. He asks what they're doing there. Phyllis says they're hanging out and griping about things. He senses they want him to go, but they urge him to sit down. Summer admits they're discussing her ex-husband. Nick sits down and complains about Kyle hurting Summer again. He knew he should have popped him in the mouth. Phyllis thinks that's excessive. Summer's not looking for a fistfight. Kyle's just making bad decisions, and she feels like it's going to end in disaster. Phyllis asks if they're talking about Scary Poppins. Nick thought she was cool with Claire. Summer says the way he handled that whole situation was a red flag, but this is about his latest stunt. Kyle is involved with Audra Charles again, and she is even bigger trouble than Claire. Phyllis rants that Audra swooped in when there was trouble in her marriage. Summer says Kyle let it happen. She's bad news. Nick learns she saw them together conspiring at the bar and asks if she thinks they're romantically involved again. Summer thinks it could go that way. Nick asks why she cares, and Phyllis wants to know too. Summer doesn't want her around Harrison. Nick thinks it's a leap. You might be searching for trouble. Summer's sure it wasn't a random meeting from the vibe. Phyllis asks if there's more going on. Summer says there is something more, but I'm not supposed to say. Phyllis chuckles. Oh well. Oak. Well, you're definitely going to have to tell us. At Society, Victor asks Kyle why he told his father they were colluding against him. Kyle swears he hasn't said a word about their connection. I'm sorry he came at you like that. Victor's not worried about Jack's accusations. What I am concerned about is disloyalty in people who work for me. Kyle swears he hasn't said a word about his role at Glissade or his investment. Victor warns if he can't rely on him, his offer will be rescinded. Kyle won't violate his conditions. Victor asks why his dad talked about them colluding. Kyle thinks it may have had something to do with his run-in with Diane earlier. Victor muses. Oh, I see. Kyle says he raised her suspicions by letting her know he was aware he'd left Jabot. They immediately assumed he had offered him a role at Newman. They know nothing about Glissade. Kyle vows he has no allegiance to his parents. Victor asks, so, you're turning your back on your family. Kyle says he's moving out. It's for the best. Victor has offered him an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm all in. There's no way he'd betray his confidence in him or tip off their future competitors. But there's something you should know. I can't control my dad's suspicions. Victor only needs to know that he can trust him. In Chelsea's hotel room in Baltimore, Adam and Chelsea dress. He asks if she's okay. She doesn't know. You? He replies, same. He asks if she wants to talk about what happened. Chelsea wouldn't know where to begin. I'm not sure I even know what happened myself. Adam's at a loss for words too. They didn't plan this. It just happened. They've been living a nightmare, Chelsea agrees. Tonight is just spilled over. Adam theorizes. They let their emotions get out of control and got caught up in old memories. We desperately needed to reconnect with those feelings again. Chelsea gasps. It was just an unexpected slip. Adam nods. A mistake. Chelsea agrees it was a mistake. Adam thinks the best thing to do is not to talk about it to anyone. Chelsea says he's right. They just have to put it behind them. They were just trying to deal with what's happening with their son. This doesn't make her any less committed to Billy or him to Sally. Adam says, of course, it doesn't. At Crimson Lights, Summer says what Kyle told her is going to be public knowledge in the morning, so she might as well tell them. Nick isn't sure it's their business, but Phyllis waves him off. Summer says Kyle and Audra are going to be working together, and the company they're working for is Jabot's direct competition. His family fired him. Well, Diane fired him, but Jack didn't fight her on it. Phyllis perks up. Diane fired her own son. From his birthright. That makes no sense. Who does that? She wants to know how Audra got her hands on her own cosmetics company. Summer says that's an even bigger part of the secret. She reveals the cosmetics company is Glissade. It was Tucker's company until Audra managed to steal it out from underneath him. Nick wonders where she'd get the capital. Summer says some secret investor came in and funded her. They all agree it sounds shady. Summer thinks Kyle is in the line of fire where McCall is concerned, and she doesn't want Harrison in the middle of all this nonsense. If Kyle is the target of a revenge attack, their son could get hurt too. Phyllis is sure Kyle won't put Harrison in harm's way. Summer reiterates that he's on a reckless path. She wants Harrison to be spending more time with her. Phyllis asks, "Are you saying you want to take Harrison away from Kyle?" Summer doesn't want to do that. She wanted to involve lawyers, but realized that would escalate things. Nick and Phyllis agree. Summer is hoping to avoid that, but she can't sit back and watch while Kyle brings chaos into Harrison's life. She's been looking for houses with yards, so that when he's with her, it feels settled and more official. Nick feels this won't be easy. Kyle is Harrison's biological father. Summer gobs. "Don't tell me you're going there." Nick warns she's just not going to win, and Harrison's a very happy kid. Phyllis thinks she's still a bit worried from the kidnapping. Is this maybe a bit more about Claire than Andra? Summer can't believe they're not supporting her. Nick asks his daughter to consider where her concerns are coming from. She fumes. "Thank you for your advice, but I'm not the problem here." With that, she storms out. Nick and Phyllis mock themselves for not being very good at this. At Society, Kyle shows Victor some business plans. He asks if he and Andra are on the same page. Kyle says, "Absolutely." Victor thinks Jack will be surprised. Kyle guarantees he'll be blindsided and will not see this coming. He asks Victor to be honest. "My father was right, wasn't he? This is an attack on him. Some sort of retaliation for what happened with Nikki. That's why he plotted the secret takeover of Glissade, isn't it?" Victor tells Kyle he wants him and Andra to concentrate on the task at hand. Kyle guesses he's not going to answer his question. Victor says he sees this as an opportunity to blow Jack and Jeb out of the water. He should do it. What he wants is a massive success. Kyle assures him that's at the top of his to-do list. Victor heads out, but runs into Claire, who is picking up takeout. He kisses her and leaves. Claire asks Kyle what brought him back here. He asks if she'll join him for a drink and teases he won't make her drink champagne again. Outside, Victor watches them laughing together. In Chelsea's room, she tells Adam it's time that he went back to his suite. He hopes there will be good news about Connor in the morning. She hopes. After closing the door, Chelsea sighs. "Oh God." Adam, on the other side of the door, grimaces. At Society, Kyle and Claire chat about her takeout order. She asks why he's there. He just needed to get out of the house. Claire worries. "Don't tell me things got worse." Kyle might as well fill her in since it will affect her too. He argued with his parents again, and he and Harrison will soon be moving out. Claire is taken aback and asks how Harrison took the news. Kyle says he's warming up to the idea, provided, of course, that there's a treehouse. His main concern was that he wouldn't be able to see his mom or her, but he explained everything would be the same. Claire says it really won't be the same. "Are you doing this to punish them for firing you?" Kyle insists he's not, and he couldn't cut them out of Harrison's life. Claire understands this has been stressful, but to move out. Kyle wonders if he's supposed to just live with what they did. Claire asks, "Aren't you worried about uprooting Harrison and leaving your home?" Summer enters the Abbott house and Diane asks, "Summer, are you okay?" Summer says she just came to peek in on Harrison while he's sleeping. Diane asks to speak with her for a minute. "I need your help." Summer isn't keen to discuss Kyle behind his back. Things have been tense between them, and she doesn't want to make it worse. Diane pleads, "Summer, you have to convince Kyle that moving out of the house is not the answer, and it's definitely not a good move for Harrison." Summer gulps. "What?" Diane asks. "You don't know. Kyle didn't tell you." At Crimson Lights, Nick asks Phyllis what she thinks is going on with their daughter. He hasn't seen her this vehement in a long time. Phyllis muses. Vehement, passionate, forceful, heated, spirited. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. Nick scratches his ear, as she says she gets it from both of them. They agree she's had a rough time lately. Phyllis thinks she's carrying around guilt about the kidnapping, because if she hadn't divorced Kyle, it wouldn't have happened. Nick hopes she's not beating herself up over that scenario. Phyllis knows her. She has her own guilt. Summer wouldn't have divorced Kyle if it hadn't been for what she put her through and her issues with Diane. In her hotel room, Chelsea leaves Billy a voicemail saying she woke up and can't go back to sleep. "Just missing you and thinking about you, and wondering if staying here isn't the best idea." Maybe you were right and I should come home and wait for word about Connor there. She misses his hugs and support. She's bouncing off the walls. So if there's no news about her son in the morning, she'll come back. She can't speak for Adam. But she can't wait in limbo like this any longer. I need to come home, Billy. I miss you. In his hotel room, Adam leaves Sally a voicemail saying he can't stay there. Waiting day in and day out is torture. It's messing with my head. And that's not helping anyone. If there's no word about Connor in the morning he's coming home, I need to be with you. Either way, he'll be home soon. At Society, Kyle tells Claire he shouldn't have moved out a long time ago, but it made sense to go to the Abbott mansion when they came home from Italy. He's a grown man who doesn't need to be living with his parents anymore. Claire points out there's lots of room. Kyle says there's not enough for them to coexist in peace. Claire thought he and his father were really close. Kyle says he made his choice, and it wasn't me. Claire asks how Summer feels about the big move. Kyle says he hasn't told her. Claire's eyes widen. At Crimson Lights, Nick tells Phyllis she and Summer need to stop blaming themselves for things beyond their control. Things have settled down and worked out, and Summer seems happy with Chance. Phyllis thanks Nick for never fighting for custody of Supergirl. After what happened with Daniel, she'd never have gotten over it. Phyllis tells her she's an amazing mom. No matter how old Summer gets, they can never stop looking out for her. Phyllis agrees. Something is going on with Supergirl, and whatever it is, it's pushing her to the extreme. At the Abbott mansion, Summer confirms to Diane that Kyle didn't say anything to her about moving, but he told her about her firing him. Diane is sure he didn't admit that he forced her hand. Summer doesn't want to be involved. All she cares about is, Kyle's not planning on taking Harrison out of Genoa City, is he? Diane hopes not. Summer can't believe she fired his son, and now he's moving out of the house, and she doesn't know where he's going. Diane, how could you let this happen? Next on The Young and the Restless, Victor gives Claire a history lesson. Danny and Cricket surprise Tracy in Paris, and Phyllis and Nick disagree about how to help Summer.